Hello everyone, this is Akhier Dragonheart, and I've finally managed to complete this. Boy, it looks chaotic. It took a bunch of work, and eventually it took really just sitting down with a nice pad of paper and tracing out all the lines so I could finally get it, but it's working. It's an HV solar array creation device that does it passively, I guess you could say. I saw the one that was on the server Direwolf is doing his Let's Play on. It's like, that's cool and everything, and it looks like it works really good, but I wanted something that I could just throw resources at and not really worry about it. And this does that. It's using Redpower2 mostly. There's the, of course, IC2 because it's using EU or UU. Let's see. Here's the big thing. It's crafting. It's an auto crafter for Redpower basically, and that's what the basic design's around. You'll notice I always have a thing on the top. That's because that's where you extract the recipe from. From what I can tell, depending on the side that you input at for the thing, depends on where it is, because this is always the line it's filling up when I put from the back, so it's always from the back, so I guess it's just gonna always use that line. And I'm using a bunch of regulators. Technically, with the way I have it set up, it doesn't really need them, but the biggest thing is, like, in an HV solar array, there is exactly one diamond. A single diamond. Now, what if I just ended up with this filling up with diamonds? It's like, okay, it's diamonds, that's pretty cool, but of all the things, a diamond costs 9 UU. So it's like, So this, I'm using the principle of letting it back itself up when it doesn't need it anymore. Right now, no diamonds are coming out because it's backed up. It took me a while, and I'll show you some of the previous ways I've tried to do it, I guess. That's a slight layout that I did with it, trying to get it to work. Let's see. Yeah, this is my first try. I pretty much assumed this one wasn't going to work. It's basically just pumping them out, and then over here it's like filters to get it into the various processing things going along, and then just a big line of regulators going to crafting tables. It didn't work because backing up, which is basically the thing I'm basing it on, wasn't working how I needed it to. This here, it would shoot out whatever it was. It would go over, find out, oh, I can't go. It would go and then back up in the closest inventory. Normally that would be okay, but in this case, because it's just trying to constantly force resources through till it backs up, it always backs up the wrong thing. Even though I did produce the stuff in a line, so it's like earlier stuff to end product stuff. It's like, Here was a similar principle. I started on it, and it was actually, I think I actually had this one mostly complete. I was testing using stuff like relays to get it to work. It didn't really pan out. Here, I was going to control the pulses, which later on, after I get bored of my achievement with that one over there, I might get back to it. The biggest problem is the difference. There's one diamond, and yet there's thousands of copper in each one. It's like a very big difference from starting way down here with one UU making stone or wood, all the way down to here where it's like, diamond. It's like stone. You really have to think about it to realize there's a lot of it in an HV solar array. It's not really that expensive, but still. Comparatively, the number of times you'll have to tick is greater. Quite a bit so. Yeah, and over here, this was my attempt at just having it pull it out like that. I ended up trying to get it compact going sideways, and it looked better this way to me, so I kept doing this. And it's basically just a line of them pulling out and then going through the processes. This is the biggest, this first big step forward I had in the design process. It's the fact that I do instead of just like starting and having everything just jumble together, I go through all the processes of the material that I can before it's finalized into the main thing. Also, this is where I first started trying to color code it to avoid unneeded backup, but because I had it just kind of open system like this, it didn't work because it was still backing up in the wrong ways. So, whatever. And this is just refined iron. I didn't actually put it out far enough and was just getting iron. There's a few ways to do the solar rays. It's because of the generator. You can either do it with like partially iron and refined iron, all refined iron, blah blah blah. And I chose the just everything's using refined iron. And that's basically because it would work out the best. Here is another design I attempted to do. It's using retrievers. This was basically on the concept of, well, if it's backing up, what if I just had it request them for itself? And it's like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Except it also didn't work. Because like down here I have this. It would try to retrieve it, but along here I had another place that was doing refined iron, and it would pull a refined iron, stealing it from that or something. Because it's like, even though it was ticking away and doing its stuff, it just wouldn't get any. So, that didn't work either. And then finally I got to here. I just constructed this, and it's like, I had this for a while, and it's like, just pondering, it's like, if you were on the Bay 12 forums and you noticed the one post I did with a link to video, that's a unlisted one. It's not really important. It's just basically me asking for help, trying to figure out a way to do it so that it doesn't back up incorrectly. And this is my actual figuring it out. It's color coding, and before I couldn't do it because there was just too many open options. It's like, this one basically shows it. There's this giant row of crafting, and I can't color code every single one because there's just not enough colors. So in the end, I have on a notebook page just like starting at the top with the basic processes that I lined out here, where it's as far as you go crafting without adding anything else. So the iron ore goes to dust, to iron, to refined iron. The stone goes to cobbled, goes to furnaces, and so on and so forth. Also, one thing is that I'm not using advanced machines for this. Advanced machines are just too slow for what I wanted. Now, of course, in an actual build, I'm not going to have this right away, but really, I'd still go with this because it's well, these aren't really necessary. Well, maybe they are, I don't know. But, and probably don't need that many transformers, but this, overclocker, I've got it at 16. Maybe I can add more, I don't really know. But yeah, it's basically, it gets in there and it's instant. It's like, I pull that out and look how fast that is. It's just like, boom, and it's full. So yeah, when I get serious, I don't use advanced machines. I use basic machines with upgrades everywhere. Anyway, here's the actual machine. I'll walk you through it a little bit. Let's see. That's light blue. I call it periwinkle, though. I don't know why. That color just screams periwinkle to me for some reason. Anyway, yeah. This one I think is, yeah, that's copper. So yeah, that's copper. I have all these at the end because it was just easier that way. Really, I'd want it more closer to the actual output. But yeah, this only accepts rubber and copper. It goes in there. I only have so many at a time so that it backs up quicker. Because it's like, even though it's not like a diamond, I'm still not wanting a bunch of that stuff just lying around. These early stages I should probably up a little bit more, but nah. It's doing fine on copper wires there anyway. Here we've got a battery being made here. And that just keeps going on. It's basically just a big lineup of stuff. Here we've got the machine block. Goes along to various places. I've got a few things that are a little odd, like right here. It's like it's just kind of floating here. That's because I had originally thought I needed another line here, but then I realized, wait, the only requires a machine block and a couple of wires, so it ended up not needing more. And also, this is just basically what I'd call a prototype, even though it's pretty close to what the finished product probably will be like, because even though I'll try to compress it down more, at best I think I'll be able to move some of these things around a little bit. Let's see how many I have. I only have one right now. Let's check out. We've got 1 MV in the wing, 3 low voltage, 6 of these, so it's close to making another solar array. Yeah. This isn't very efficient. In fact, it's about the opposite efficient, because it's basically just spewing out materials. And honestly, I have it on a slow tick right now, 2 seconds. I started it off at a really high, like, min tick that you can get on that thing. It was like, seizure from all the pipes. Hey. Looks like it's just needing one more electric circuit. Let's open up the electric circuit. Yeah. Oh, nothing. There we go. Yeah, you can actually watch and hear for the ingredients because it's all being held here. If I click that, it would put them in and just leave them in, but meh. Okay, looks like it just made it. Yeah, now there's 4 there. And it'll slowly tick through that. I'm pretty sure the one that was on Direwolf's server Let's Play video that was shown probably makes them quicker, because it looks like it uses a few things that I'm not using right now. This is basically a combination of a few things, but mostly just a challenge I set forth for myself of creating this basically all red power. It's like, barring the fact that I'm using UU, it's basically all red power. Nothing more to say there. It's like I am using the auto crafting mod, but that was meant for red power, so it's, as far as I can tell, everything's red power here except for the basic IC2 stuff to manipulate the products. And the energy, of course. I find that reasonable. It's like, yeah. All kinds of stuff. And this is my UU storage matrix. It's basically just a bunch of chests being taken from my ender chest UU. We have this one. That one's going a little fast, yeah. Like this one, half a second. Oop, not what I wanted. And then this one going at 1 second. So it's putting in faster than it's pulling out, so it'll fill up. I'm mostly doing that because I kind of overbuilt this, so it kind of makes UU quickly. And it's like, I didn't really want to waste it, even though it's creative mode, and it's like, oh, it's free. I just had to bother with it. Oh, yeah. Lots of other stuff here, too. But, yeah. I think I kind of showed this kind of stuff a little bit in another video. So, yeah. this is finally what I was doing, and I'm happy with what's happened. It's like, it'll need a little bit more time running, but it'll get to the point where it's going to have all this tech through. Oh, and it's not really, it shouldn't have a medium voltage solar array right now, actually. I will state that. And also, it shouldn't have a HV array made. That's just because when I'm setting up the system, here's a tip. If you're using anything where it's like this or whatever, and you have like some kind of auto crafting thing, and it doesn't appear until you put the products in, put it in, let it create one, and then there you go. In creative, it's like, even though I can easily look at this and be like, hey, that's going to make an HV solar array, it's not always that obvious. It's like, let's see, this is pretty obvious what it is, but I guess they're all pretty obvious. But it really helps, especially on the UU end. So I just do it with all the things, because I like knowing what I'm trying to produce without having to pull out some resources just to figure out what I'm producing. I was actually kind of hoping, I was kind of dragging on a little bit, hoping that it would produce one, but it doesn't look like it's going to get around to it that quickly. Yeah, it's not very quick, but it's basically just set and forget. And it was a challenge, and I completed the challenge, so moving on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. This was a pretty long, frustrating, yes, just a little bit of frustrating. Oh my god, it was really frustrating. Anyway, yes, nervous laughter. This is Akhier, and I'm signing off.